Live from the lab, we got Nationals Talk with Brian Brennan Dujunnea Bland, talking about the week that was. You know, we have Brian on to bring the Yankees perspective. They're playing pretty well right now, so I know he's all grinning ear to ear right now. How you doing tonight, Brian?
I'm doing well, Cal. Yeah, I was calling winning 9 games in a row, playing pretty well.
Yeah. You know, it's good to, play well, get out of that slump that they were in, starting out a little slow. Hopefully the Nats can mimic the same thing. But unfortunately, this past week they weren't very successful at all, finishing up the West Coast road trip with 3 games versus San Francisco and coming home for 3 games versus Arizona. They ended up going 2-4 for the week, which is never a good thing. They started out with a game in San Fran, which was a 4-2 loss in the first game. Gio took that loss, making him 2-2 on the year. He went 5 innings, giving up 4 hits, 3 of those earned, with 3 walks and 4 strikeouts. The Nats took the lead in the top of the third with a Howie Kendrick sacrifice fly. San Fran tied it up in the bottom of the third and then took the lead in the bottom of the fourth. The Nats couldn't get any offense together with the 2-1 lead, and the San Francisco added on in the bottom of the fifth, making it 4-1. In the top of the seventh, Andrew Stevenson hit a sacrifice fly, which would make it 4-2, which was the final score. This team always has some issues with San Fran. Ballpark, being close to the water, ball doesn't travel. This team has power, but sometimes struggle with small ball. San Fran's used to it, so they had some power, but they also had some small ball in this game to win that one. Brian, did you get a chance to check out any of that first game?
No, unfortunately, the series all started late, so I didn't get to see any of the San Francisco series. I did see a little bit of the day game, but other than that, San Francisco is kind of every time it's the even year, they're trying to win the World Series. They've won the World Series in 2010, 2012, and 2014. So, and they made the playoffs in 2016 as well. So anytime the San Francisco Giants are in an even year, they have a chance to be good. You mentioned the past history, Carol, playoff series, and of course the brawl last year between Hunter Strickland and Bryce Harper. These 2 teams have history. The Giants was able to come out with the win in this one. Obviously, like you said, they do know how to play that park really well. Whereas Nationals and other teams, really any team from the East Coast, probably not used to the Giants ballpark. Change the name every year. I can't remember the name of it now, but yeah, that's a tough loss for the Nats first game on the West Coast.
Yeah, definitely. Since we're going to try to make this abbreviated, I'm going to shoot through the other 2 games and we'll get a final synopsis on that one and go through the last 3 games against Arizona, since we're going to try to squeeze Wiz talking before the music break. The second game was a 4-3 loss. Tanner Roark took the mound, which he's taking the mound tonight. He was 1-2 after that game. He went 6 innings with 6 hits, 4 runs, giving up 4 of those earned, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts. San Francisco built the 3-0 lead going into the fourth. When Michael Taylor came up and hit a 3-run home run to tie the game in the top of the fourth, but unfortunately Tanner couldn't hold the lead. As I said, he lasted 6 innings, but before he left the game, he gave up a solo home run, which would be the deciding run and make it a 4-3 game, which was the final score. In the last game, which the Nats were looking to avoid the sweep, they had Mad Max going to the mound, which is always a good thing to end a losing streak, and he did that. Ended up becoming the first 5-game winner in the majors. He went 6 innings, giving up 5 hits, 2 runs, both of them earned, with 2 walks and 10 strikeouts. The Nats offense finally woke up early and often in the last game of this series. They scored 3 in the top of the first and didn't look back after that. I'm not even going to go into all the 15 runs, but they had over 20 hits. Matt Adams had a great day. He went 3 for 5 with 6 RBIs, filling in for Ryan Zimmerman at first, and Andrew Stevenson went 4 for 5 with 4 RBIs playing in left field. So they ended up going 1-2 against San Francisco before they came home to face Arizona. Brian, you said you didn't get a chance to catch the late games, but I know you got a chance to see that gem pitch by Mad Max.
Yeah, definitely. We talked about this last week. Anytime you get back to the runs in the first inning, it's more or less game over. At this point, Nationals having a 3-0 lead. The other 12 runs they scored in the game are almost a bonus. You said Scherzer did his thing. And that's really what the Nationals needed. Looks like they left all their runs in San Francisco, unfortunately, going back to the series against the Diamondbacks this past weekend.
Very true. We'll get into that. I have some, insights on that also. Dujunnea, what did you take away from this 3-game series against San Fran? The Nats were only able to get one run, but they did explode in that. One win and did explode in that one game. What did you take away from that series against San Francisco?
It seems to be one of those things with San Francisco. You just never know what type of team you're going to get. But again, Scherzer comes out in that last series and really pitches one heck of a game. So the good thing about it is it's early, and you hate to get in these little walls or little slumps, if you want to call them that. But they did put together 15 runs. But I'll echo his sentiments on that. It seems that they kind of left those runs back there in the San Francisco series.
No doubt. Robbie, you have an update of the game that's going on right now?
Yes, I do. I actually now have 2 updates. The first one was Michael Taylor hitting the fielder's choice. So it was the third, and then it was the second, and Matt Adams was out. And it should have been a double play with Michael Taylor out at home, but it was an error on Adam Frazier's throw. So it missed the mark, and Taylor was actually able to get to second base, and they actually just walked the batter as well. So now, instead of it being them out of the inning, there's a base runner at first and second, and Depot is up to bat. So, so it's Matt Wieters who was walked, so 2 outs and it's a 1-0 count. So we'll definitely keep looking at that.
All right, I'm watching it myself, and it's always good to get to the pitcher early. If you can throw extra pitches, you never know what might happen. But unfortunately, things didn't go that well, as they mentioned with the Nats offense being stuck in San Francisco. The first game of the series was a unfortunate 5-4 loss that Steven Strasburg, who had been pitching very well, took the loss. He's been his last couple of starts been giving up some home run balls as he's been warming up. When you got a fastball that goes 97, sometimes these hitters are going to catch up with it, and especially on some of the hot days that are about to come, the ball is going to travel. So he's had a little bit of long ball itis that hopefully he can calm down. He ended up going 6 1/3, giving up 6 hits, 5 runs, all earned, with 2 walks and 7 strikeouts. And this Arizona team has a very quality bullpen that no one saw coming. As of right now, they have a combined ERA for the bullpen of 163 as a combined bullpen, not just one guy, the whole bullpen. So once Arizona gets the lead, their bullpen has been coming in and locking it down. And unfortunately, it was a close game going back and forth, but Arizona got the lead in the top of the 6th. And after that, their bullpen came in and shut everything down. Nats couldn't muster any offense. Unfortunately, this was a trend for the rest of the series. And I'm going to go ahead and go through the second game, too, and we just do a quick wrap-up at the end so we can get the Wiz talk. The second game was a unfortunate and a very painful loss, a 4-3 loss, because the Nats had the lead going into the late innings. And unfortunately, in the top of the 8th, Arizona was able to tie up the game. Ryan Zimmerman, he homered. It was a home run fest. It was hot out there. The ball was traveling. It was 4-3 loss, and Zimmerman had a home run. Kendrick had a home run. Peralta for Arizona had 2 home runs in the game. And the Nats had a lead. The bullpen faltered in the 8th. Arizona was able to tie and able to get the winning run in the top of the 10th to win the game in extra innings. And unfortunately, this has been a trend at the beginning of the season with the bullpen. We'll talk about that a little bit after. Let me go ahead and wrap up the lone bright spot of the series versus Arizona with a 3-1 victory with Gio taking the mound, who was able to salvage this and luckily avoid the sweep at home, which you all know how much I hate a sweep or a shutout at home. That's just something that can't happen. So Gio, he ended up going the longest outing of the season, 7 innings, giving up 6 hits with only 1 earned run, 2 walks, and 8 strikeouts. Sean Doolittle earned the win in the 3-1 victory. Matt Wieters, who has just came off the DL, he's been we haven't really spoke on it, but he's been some instant offense for this team. He started the game off in the bottom of the second with a homer that got the Nats on the board. Ryan Zimmerman, he was able to score, get on base after a fielding error. And Michael Taylor, homered in the third himself. He's been playing pretty well, filling in for Adam Eaton as he's been on the DL. But unfortunately, the Caps won it. I'm sorry. I'm watching hockey and talking baseball. Y'all got to excuse me. The Nats ended up winning 1 out of 3. As I said, they went 2 for 4 for the week. Dujunnea, what did you take away from this series? I know Arizona's bullpen is dominant, but with the injuries and the players on the DL that the Nats also have with Rendon and Murphy and Eaton, those are potent bats that's taken away from this lineup. Do you think it's more of the health of the team or the effectiveness of Arizona's bullpen?
You can't take away what Arizona does and how well they've been playing. The injuries are part of the game. You don't want to use them as an excuse for poor play. And I wouldn't call it like really a poor play on the Nats' part. They just faced a buzzsaw that is clicking right now. And again, they're in a little bit of an up and down wave. And like you said, it's one thing to get beat. You definitely don't like it. If you're going to get swept, you definitely don't like to see it at home. They were able to salvage that in the last game. But, I just think Arizona, a team that's in a little bit of a stride right now. They have a great pitching staff, and coupled with a few things that the Nats are dealing with, including this little bit of a lull or slump. They were able to, Arizona will take advantage of that and come out of that 2-1.
No doubt. Brian, before I go to you, Robbie has a quick scoring update.
Yeah, I do. So as we were talking about, you never want to leave a base runner out there. That double play does end up coming out to bite Pittsburgh just a little, but not too bad. So remember Michael A. Taylor, as I last left off, he's on second base. Wilmer Depot was able to single to center. It was interesting. He served as a nice chopper right through the hole. The shortstop had been playing over almost at the second base, and the second baseman was over just a little bit towards first base, and he found out there was a very small gap between them, but he found that spot. And so Wilmer Depot ended up scoring Michael A. Taylor, who rounded all the way from second. But then Taylor Roark had a chop ball that he hit. Unfortunately, they were able to throw out Taylor since he's very slow at first. So it's Nats 1, Pittsburgh nothing. It's now the top of the third inning.
All right, great. Nats up 1-0. Hopefully they can start getting it together. Brian, what did you take away from this Arizona series that had the Nats going 1-2 in back-to-back series?
Right now, the Diamondbacks might be the hottest team in baseball. They've won every single series they've played so far, and they are the real deal. They made the playoffs last year, and the NL West kind of appears to be trending in their direction. Them and the San Francisco Giants, with Corey Seager now out for the season for the Dodgers. Like you guys said, I think it was good for the Diamondbacks, for the Nationals, to salvage the game on Sunday. You don't want to get swept, but this Diamondbacks team is 100% for real. And that's really all I have to say on that series against Arizona.
Yeah, they definitely, that bullpen is sick. The Nats, like I said, they're missing some pieces. So, you got to put that in, you got to chalk that into it too. But Arizona's bullpen definitely is impressive. Now, just to give a quick schedule so we can get ready to get into the Nats, talk the upcoming schedule. As we said, they got Pittsburgh in progress right now. Then we have, this is a 4-game set. So we have a game tomorrow at 7:05. The game Wednesday at 7:05 and the game Thursday at 1:05. Then they have Philly coming in for the weekend, who's been playing lights out, and I believe still the top of the division. Friday night it's a 7:05 start. Saturday it's a 4:05 start, and Sunday it's a 1:35 start. So the Nats definitely need to start trying to get on a roll and get some wins under their belt, being there sitting in fourth in the division at 12-16, which is never a good thing, and I know we're not used to the Nats getting off to a slow start. They've been coming out the gate hot lately, but Murphy hasn't even played one game, and Rendon on that corner, he's missing his back. Tony Two Bags, I think, call him that for a reason. But Nats, I think they're going to be all right. The Mets are who they are. Brian loves saying that, and I kind of agree. Philly, I don't know what to think about them. They have a lot of rookies. They added some pitching, and they're playing solid defense. So we're going to see how the chips fall, throughout this long 162-game season. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap up.
Don't count out the Braves either. The Braves have a lot of young talent, and they're good too, so don't sleep on them.
True. They are good. I didn't mention them because they've been showing some of that youth with the inconsistency early, which is some of the inconsistency the Nats have been showing also. So, like I said, the division has improved. Last year, how it all played out, how many teams, sucked and how many didn't. But the division has definitely gotten better. It's definitely going to be a dogfight, at least I say until All-Star break. By then, you had the fakers normally fall off, and the real teams normally rise to the top. And I feel the Nats going to rise to the top. But I'm going to go ahead and end this feed now. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Just went a minute over, so Robert, you got enough time for Wizards talk. I'm going to go ahead and end this feed now.